I love every second in the race car, and I'm so aware of how much that means to me now because I almost had it taken away from me. I went in the diabetes specialist doctor and the endocrinologist, and there are those moments in your life where everything stops. You know you have to ask the hard question, but if it's not the answer you want, you're pretty sure you're better off not asking it. And I said, okay, doc, I'm a professional racing driver. Am I going to be able to race again? And he said, absolutely. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to drive a race car.
Charlie Kimball races with a constant blood sugar monitor that wirelessly transmits data.
When I'm in the race car, I have to manage my diabetes really aggressively. During the race, I keep an eye on my continuous glucose monitor. It's a sensor that I've got in my body, wirelessly transmits to the readout here on the steering wheel. I watch that. If the numbers are getting lower than I want, drink some orange juice out of a drinks bottle I've got here installed in the car, and I'm good to go.
The technology that he's using to monitor his disease, which is not something that's in widespread use anyway. And it's because of that type of technology, I think, that I feel very comfortable that he's safe in the race car.
My first race after I was diagnosed still gives me goosebumps thinking about it. There was a lot of anxiety going into the weekend. I mean, I knew that we had a pretty good car, and I finished second. My dad asked me at the end of the day, he said, well, what did it feel like when you're standing up on the podium? I said, the biggest sense was a feeling of relief because I can do this with diabetes as well or better than I can without.
And look at this, Charlie Kimball, 192.402.
I have to manage my diabetes, but I'm still a racing driver. I'm very definitely a racing driver who has diabetes rather than someone with diabetes who races cars.
Hopes to use motorsports as a platform to let those with diabetes know that life doesn't have to change much for you.
My dream to win the Indianapolis 500, to race an IndyCar, to make my mark in open-wheeled racing hasn't changed since my diagnosis. When people hear that I have diabetes, they, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And I'm not. I think it's a perception that you can't do this with diabetes, and I'm enjoying proving that that's not true.